Coming in. That's us. Hey, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? So, welcome to our show. We meet here every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on What's the Story with Maria. It runs through Armed Radio, which is armeddigitalmedia.com, armedradioglobal.com. Let's see who has joined us. Joe Savino and Jason Peck has joined us. Hi, guys. So, and Armed Radio, you just get your TuneIn app and you go straight to Armed Radio and you can listen to our show live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. If you miss it live and you want to listen to the podcast, you have several options. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio.com, and now Spotify.com. Just type in What's the Story with Maria and you can listen to all our shows. This is episode 71. Wow. Can you believe that? Yes. Wow. Now, let's see who else has joined us. Leo Rodriguez has joined us. He joins us every week. Billy Young has joined us. Joe Savino, Jason Peck, Ed Kutu, Kia Nelson from Philly. Hi, Kia.
Yeah.
Kia is Jay's friend. That's how I met Kia. Kia comes on every week. Happy Thanksgiving, Joe Savino. Same to you, too. Although I see that you already have your Christmas decorations, I think, up, Joe, right? Very nice job, by the way. And say hi to Rebecca. Rebecca is his daughter. She's adorable. Okay, so we have all these nice people joining us and more people. Margaret Curry has joined us. More people will join us as the show goes on. Now, once the video ends, which is at 10, then I save it and it's archived and you can go back and watch it as many times as you like. Rena Crinelli-Berge has joined us. Leah already, she's saying, Leo Rodriguez. That is a thing now, David. I don't know if you know this. So who do I have here with me? These beautiful, beautiful, beautiful men. My friend Jay Rivera is here. He was on episode 2, my second ever episode. Jay was on with Lynn Portis, and I just had to bring him back.
That was a lot of fun.
That was so much fun. And I learned a lot as we go. Brendan Ryan has joined us. Brendan Ryan, I salute you, Captain. He's our friend and he's an amazing singer and he's with the NYPD. He's a captain. Awesome. We love Brendan. So happy Thanksgiving, Eddie. Eddie's my high school friend. We went to a lot of high school games together and he was in marching band. So we were Ed Kutu groupies. Glenn Charlo has joined us. All right. So Eddie also has a salon called Blade Salon in Old Westfield, Connecticut. So go and check out Eddie. My other guest.
Can you help me out?
What?
Can you help me out?
You know what? Let me see. What do you think, Eddie? What can we do for David? You know what? I don't think you need any help. I think you're all set. All right. So these are my two beautiful guests, Jay Rivera and David Raleigh. So a lot of people know Jay from the show and also just from around town. And then David will pop in from time to time down at Singer Spotlight Night that Darius and I run. And, you know, T-Rex is there now and Tara and over the years, many different people, Susie Camp. But David will pop in sometimes, usually towards the end of the night because you've done a gig or something and then you will show up, right?
I love Darius. I've known Darius forever. So
I know he's a good guy. A lot of people are connected to Darius. So how did you meet Darius? Was it through music?
I think the Duplex just coming in years ago and playing and being there. You know, I did a project years ago, but actually it's 20 years ago last year.
Wow.
I joined forces with a person that had a restaurant on Grove Street.
Right.
And Darius came in and played the piano a few times and brought in Broadway singers. And so we kind of connected.
Yeah, I love that place. I remember it. It was down underneath. It was the Old Oaks.
The Old Five Oaks.
Yep.
And I called it Club Raleigh at the Oaks. And it was a separate club, very short-lived, but fabulous.
But it was great. It was really great. Good. And I remember, and it, you know, the thing about, well, we were talking about some things, you know, will last a certain amount of time and then they end and you wonder, what am I going to do after that? And then, but we always kind of continue to do other things. The thing I love about New York and this business that we're in is that hi, Terry Ross. Terry Ross has joined us. You know Terry Ross, right? She's a singer and an amazing jewelry designer. She's at Bryant Park, by the way. N13 is her booth. Go and say hi to Terry. Oh, look at this. Leo Rodriguez has already put up davidraleigh.com.
Thanks, Leah.
So after the show or during the show, if you want to check out davidraleigh.com, please do. Now, David, I know you. I've always known you as a jazz you're a band. I would have put you on a band leader. Is
I
that
have been a
correct?
band leader, yep.
So like trios and
I had a lot of bands in New York. I led the house band at Tattoo, which was a supper club back in the day. And,
yeah.
I also I had a band at Stringfellows. Had another
Where's
band at Supper
Stringfellows?
Club. Stringfellows on 21st and Broadway. It was
Wow.
Peter Stringfellow was an icon from London that came over and opened a nightclub. And it was
Wow.
really exciting. And that was actually one of my first jobs in New York when I got here. And I turned into a band leader right away. I led a trio, and then it got to be a 5-piece band, and then got bigger and bigger. And
Okay, so that's what I want to start with because we were talking. So you were born in Seattle and raised in Seattle, right?
Well,
Tell me.
the story.
Oh, that's a fun time.
Dímelo, as they say.
I was born in Rochester, New York, so I'm a true New Yorker.
Okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
But when I was 4, my mom moved to Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
So I grew up in Seattle, Washington, and I loved it. And I do consider Seattle my hometown.
Seahawks fan.
I'm a Seahawks
All
fan.
right, okay.
Yeah.
This is how you
am,
know
yes.
where your real hometown is.
Yes, that's it, right? That's
Yeah, because
true.
my hometown, I'm a Patriots fan, so I'm from Boston originally, even though I've been here 30 years. But that's my home,
Yeah.
it's my team.
I have to admit, I'm a last game watcher. I let
Yeah,
the
that's
season
okay.
go by,
A
and then
lot
I
of
come
people
in-
do.
I come in
And
for
at the end. It's all right.
But yeah, so I grew up in Seattle, and then I went to college in California, a small little tiny college, and then I moved to Southern California,
Oh,
and
wow.
I did gospel music and performed with various gospel people. I sang with Amy Grant when I was little. I did a bunch of
Really?
little
Oh,
stuff.
wow, Amy Grant. She's
Wow.
great.
And then I came back to New York City. I moved to New York City, and I've been here ever since. I've had some stints in other countries. I lived in Germany for a while.
Wow.
Playing
All right. That
piano.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know. You have so
know.
much stuff going on.
It's a
Definitely.
lot of.
Beautiful country.
I love traveling.
Yeah. Well, you
I
know
love
what?
getting around.
I'm telling you, it's not for everybody, but if you love it, you love it. A lot of our musicians do that. Now, Jay, I want to come back to you for a minute. So we'll go back and forth. And so, Jay, you grew up in New York,
I did.
and you have. Do you ever wish that you were born somewhere else and then came to New York, or are you one of those guys that I'm glad I'm a New Yorker. I love everything about it because you travel a lot too.
I do. I
And
do
you love
travel
it.
a lot. I've been pretty much all over the world. New York, no. I'm super grateful that I grew up in New York because, you grow up really quickly in New York.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we don't have the the running fields depending on where you grow up or what part of New York. I grew up deep in the city, in the Lower East Side. So I've been here my entire life.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something about New York. So I travel all over the country, but I always come back here.
I
He's a
know.
New Yorker, though. Both of you guys are New Yorkers.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I can even tell around you that I'm not a New Yorker, but around the two of you.
Really?
I am a New Yorker. I've been here a long time.
Well, what do
But
you
I
think
you
makes a
guys
New
have
York? What do you
guys
think
have
makes a New
certain
Yorker?
swag that you guys have.
Is
that
that
people
it?
Swag.
People that are born in this area have a thing that I don't think you can't ever catch if you're not really.
Yeah, it's so funny because everybody. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess there's this.
I mean, you catch it in your heart. I mean, I am a New Yorker. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm a New Yorker, but when I hang out with you guys and you ask them that question, I'm like, of course he's a New Yorker. I
Yeah,
mean, look at him.
yeah.
He's a New Yorker.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. Born and
It's
bred.
weird though. It's like because New York is one of these places that everybody comes to. So lots of times, like in Boston, everybody wears all the Boston colors.
Right.
Like if you saw somebody from somewhere else, you'd actually be like, "What? Who's
Yeah,
that guy?"
Very, very much so.
Right?
Yeah.
But here, like you
Right.
see a million different hats, a
Yeah.
million different shirts. Andrew Holmes has joined us. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Mike Holloway has joined us. Hi, guys. All right, so we're talking about being from New York or being in New York and how that comes to be. One of the things I love about New York is that I just feel like the whole world comes here and everybody's okay. It's just okay to be whoever you are.
That's true.
And if you don't like the neighborhood you're in, literally take 2 stops and you're in a
Totally.
different neighborhood.
That totally happened to
Absolutely.
me when I moved to New York.
Right.
My very first apartment was on 65th and First, and I moved there. I had a model friend. He and his girlfriend came to see me in California at a wedding and told me that I had to live in New York. Like, you have to move to New York. And the two of them together just really picked me up and moved me to New York. They found me an apartment. He said, "I'm going
Really?
to be your manager." They just
Oh,
took me
sweet.
under their wing, and that's why I got here. It was like I met them like 6 weeks from the time I met them. I was living in New York.
I know it's the
And I
strangest
got
thing.
here, but the funny thing was that I would go to the store, the deli on my corner, and there's this maybe an Indian man or a Turkish man I didn't really know. He had turban on, and he would always say, "You belong in the village." you don't belong on the Upper East Side. You belong in the Village. And I would always go, shut up. I love the Upper East Side. But a year
So
later, I
funny.
moved to the Village. And I came up to him like a year later, and I was like,
you
"You were
right.
really right."
How
I am
funny is
such a
that?
Village guy.
You know what it is? It's and it's true because the Village has always been. I would come here in the 80s. Me and one of my friends, we would literally get it was called the Eastern Shuttle. It was this Eastern Airlines. It doesn't even exist anymore. For $70, you could literally, it was a round trip ticket to New York in the 80s. So we would it could be last minute. Literally, you could just show up at the airport, and it wasn't that much airport security then, and say, we're going to New York. And then you just paid your $70. And we used to go straight, we'd get we'd get off at LaGuardia and take a cab. And he'd say, where you going? The Village, Sheridan Square. And that's what he would just dump us there, and we would disperse.
That's so great.
And all the clubs that we wanted to go do were there. Everything was there.
Yeah.
It was first of all, it was very different than it is now in the sense of the world was not what it is today.
Absolutely.
But it was just so amazing. Hi, Maria Filiomeni. Hi, Darius Frana. We were just talking about you, Darius. But in talking about the Village, and when I got there, I just did it again. My body did it again. I exhaled.
Right?
I was like, oh,
I know. That's how I felt when I moved.
that's
to New
where
York.
this is where I've always belonged. So you're right. There was nothing wrong with the Upper East Side.
Right.
There was nothing I was living in Staten Island, believe it or not. When I first moved to New York, I moved to Staten Island. Same thing. I had a friend that had visited New York. She had a friend there that I worked with. She ended up moving there for a while. Then she moved back, and I ended up moving back there with her and a bunch of other people in this house, just a bunch of vagabonds. We were just yeah, all right, how much is it? $300 for a room. You want it? Yeah, okay.
That sounds like fun, though.
That sounds like a great.
I mean, it was
It's an
crazy.
experience.
And so I lived in Staten Island.
I missed the $300 rooms when I moved to New York.
When I think about it, yeah, it was $300, and it was just there were 6 of us that lived in this house, this giant 3-tier house in Staten Island, on different floors. And I did a lot of the cooking because I love to cook. So they were like, "You can
She's
stay
an
because
amazing
you cook."
Yeah, right.
Such a
Yeah,
good cook.
but I've always been that person. I always am like, okay, what are we eating? And I like making big batches. But it's true. Then when you come to the Village, you're like, oh, this is different. But I feel that way about where I live now too. Julie Angelina has joined us. Tom Greenleaf, Bondi Piano, John Pandish, hello, Martin Marushak. Julie Angelina, I want to focus on you for a minute. She is in Australia. She's gorgeous.
Yay.
She's Italian. Good day, guys. Hello. Now, David Raleigh here. David, you told me that you spent a lot of time
in Australia. I love
Tell
Australia.
Tell us about Australia.
My producer who produced my last 2 albums was from Adelaide, but he was in New York producing his own album here. I met him. We started doing music together, and I ended up going to Sydney, where he was living, to start my recording career. And we ended up making 2 records, which made me go to Australia a lot. So I performed all over Australia. I love Australia.
Amazing.
It's amazing. I'm if it was closer, I would be there more often.
Really? What is it about is it the music scene? Is it the people? Is it
what it is? It's the breakfasts. They
Julie,
make the
the
best
breakfast?
Breakfast in Australia is like no place else. Coffee in Australia is like no place else. I could just go there for breakfast every morning and come back to New York.
Really? Wow. All right. That's interesting. Julie also, she has a show called the Real Drunk Housewives.
Oh, really?
It's great. And I hear the shows every day. And sometimes on the way home from work, because it's the time difference is I think their 11 o'clock in the morning is like our 5 o'clock here or whatever. But sometimes I'll see it. It'll come up. And I'll watch Julie for a while. But lately, Julie, I can't keep my eyes open because I'm working so much lately. It's crazy. So Vanna Zacharou has joined us. All right. So listen, also I want to tell everybody, feel free to share the show. Jay, this is your water here.
Oh,
I want
thank
because
you.
I need my water.
Oh, yeah,
Feel
absolutely.
free to share, David, your water, my friend,
Thank
in
you,
case
thank
you
you.
need it. Share our show on your page if you would like. And that way, everybody can watch it. So again, if you've just joined us, this is David Raleigh. He is a jazz pianist, band leader, amazing, amazing musician. Jay Rivera is an actor, a singer, a screenwriter, fitness. I always think of fitness when I think of you, Jay. Now, So I know that you're doing a
He's trying
lot
to
of.
hide under this shirt here. He's trying to hide under.
I know.
He's always hiding.
Well, he is always hiding,
Doesn't
and
like to show
everybody's
off.
always trying to get him to. I'm telling you, of all the people I've ever met, Jay, more people are trying to get you to doff some clothes.
There's
Than
not-
anyone-
it's not that
Even
kind of
on the
show,
mic,
Maria.
I
It's
know.
not- it's not
But
that
even
kind
on the mic, they're always yelling, "Take it off!" Right?
Every time
Unbelievable.
He sings, the girls go crazy.
of-
Guys go crazy. too.
Everybody goes crazy. Kyle de Blasio, speaking of going crazy, Kyle de Blasio has joined us. He was so excited you're
Kyle.
on the show. Okay, so Maria Filiumini, you know, Jay, you've sung with, you girls have come down from Morristown and they sing on
Yeah.
our Singer Spotlight nights.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
now,
How long has that been going on?
Singer
A long
Spotlight
time.
night,
Years,
Yeah.
right?
Darius
Years.
and I have been working together for over 20 years.
Wow.
Amazing.
Can you believe that? Over 20 years
Great.
of open mic in the Village.
It's a
And
lot.
speaking of the Village, I take great
a lot.
pride in this because
It is.
I've read a lot of books about the Village and about Village musicians. You know, Bob Dylan and just like oh my God, Joni Mitchell, Joan Baez, like, and then that's not even talking about the jazz musicians. That's just the folk
Right.
scene that was happening in the '60s. And it's always about the Village. Everything starts in the Village. All these open mics are in the Village. So I've always said to Darius, because sometimes, you start to get stressed out or you get like, does anybody even care about what we do? But I said, Darius, we are continuing to carry this torch
Yeah,
of open
wow.
mic. And then the amazing people like you guys that come down. I mean, it's just amazing. Even last night, we had such a great party. It was
Oh,
Anthony Fett's birthday.
Fantastic. Yes.
Yeah.
It was just so much
Yeah,
fun.
That was a lot of fun.
So Jay, what are you working? You're working on something right now that. Go ahead, tell us
I am
about that
actually,
because you're always working on something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to keep myself pretty busy for the most part. I'm working on this film. It's called Soft Spoken, and it's kind of like a dark comedy. It's has some wacky characters in it, which are great. And I am playing one of the assassins on that.
See, okay,
You know,
I'm going to stop you right there because before we went live, Jay and I were just chatting about. I said, Jay, because I've seen him in a lot of stuff, in a lot of plays and stuff, and a lot of film stuff. Jay has the widest range. Like, okay, when you know Jay's a person and you know him, he's a really nice guy. He's a very.
thank you.
You are a really no, it's true. He's a really
nice
nice
guy.
person. And what happens is like I would just cast Jay as like the really nice next door neighbor or the cute guy at the gym that, whatever it is. But I've seen you play like the really funny, goofy guy. I've seen you play the one that loses the girl every time. I've seen you play I've seen you play the really angry, crazy guy,
Wow.
which is like
Scary.
Jay, because I don't know that. I don't know if that person exists. But so what this role is now, what kind of role is this? Where does that
Murder.
fall?
It's
He might-
definitely playing a guy that doesn't have a lot of remorse. Maybe has a little bit of
See what I
Um,
mean?
what's the word when they
Alyssa Trapelli has joined us. Hi,
Hey,
Alyssa
Alyssa.
Trapella. And Len Shabar. Hi, guys. All right. So he doesn't have a lot of remorse. Okay. So he would fall into that dark.
very dark,
Okay.
very dark character.
I've seen such a range with you, which is great. Like casting wise, Jay plays a lot of stuff. And you've done a bunch of commercials too.
Done a bunch of commercials. Just shot one recently for some type of MS stuff, and that was pretty cool that they cast me with that one. It was very interesting.
Yeah. No,
Commercial.
always. You're
A lot of
always
fun.
doing something.
A lot of fun.
So, okay. Now, David, I see you have your CDs here. So I want
I
to
did
talk
bring
about those.
CDs.
Please, I'm so glad. Let's.
I did
You
bring
talk about
CDs.
them while I hold them up. Which one is first?
That one was first.
Okay. So
I mean, I have another album.
how
that I didn't
cute
bring.
are you?
Another album I didn't bring called Never Alone, which is my first album.
Okay.
This is my second album.
Second album. What's this one called?
And it's called
Beginning Again.
And it's a little poppy. It's pop. kind of
Yeah?
music, pop jazz. I mean,
And did
I fit
you
into the.
did you
cabaret
write all
jazz
the
record.
arrangements?
I wrote all the songs and arrangements. I did.
You
with my
wrote the
producer.
songs?
I wrote all the songs.
Amazing.
You're kidding me.
Amazing.
All the
Wow.
songs.
So this is an original
It's an
album?
original album.
Wow. I didn't
Original.
realize that.
All my albums are original. I've never done an album of covers yet.
Wow. And then what's this called?
And that's called.
Oh, boy,
that's me
Upside Down.
That's called the Equation of Love.
Oh,
That's
I
my
love
latest
that.
album, and it's a really it's more of a quiet album. It's a little more. We used all live instruments. This one has.
Is this
a
was
little
this
electronic on it.
recorded live?
That was recorded with live strings. And
Wow.
it has
Amazing.
you know.
I
all
love
the
this
people
picture
played
of you.
Instruments on it.
You're
Really
looking
big.
very always very
I
dapper. Even
know.
tonight he showed up and Jay and I were like, oh, we might be underdressed.
Yeah.
Very dapper, but I usually see you in a
Making me
suit.
look bad here, you know.
I feel comfortable in a jacket of some sort. I don't know why.
Why not?
I think it's because if you play in hotels and sophisticated nightclubs and supper clubs and restaurants, and I'm used to. It's kind of like I just feel comfortable when I put a jacket. and
You know
shirt on.
what? It's funny because
Kinda
as a girl, I don't like to dress up. Like I'm one of those people that if I could like just live in jeans and sweatshirts, I would be so happy. And I usually do try to do that because it just makes me happy. But if I were a guy, I would dress in suits. There's something about a suit that I just love. I love a
If
guy
I
in a
were
suit,
guy.
and I love the way like I always think about that. Like, well, that must be so cool to put on like a suit and a tie and
It's funny because even in the summertime, I'll wear like a suit, a tie, and jacket.
And look,
People
you even have
people
like
be-
look at this little
Pocket
handkerchief.
scarf.
I mean, that's
That's a
really
short-
You can't see
sexy.
my pocket scarf, but yeah.
That's really sexy.
But even in the summer, I like, I put sexy in for something. People are like, oh, you got to unbutton your shirt. I'm like, no.
No,
man.
yeah,
Because I feel
you
like
feel good.
I also like to be tucked in bed really tight.
Okay, so that's
That's
that.
that part of the whole.
Now I want to go back because I want to go back to like where I like to. This show is about creative people and the creative process. It's about living, surviving, thriving as a creative person, no matter where you're from. But we happen to all be in New York, but it doesn't matter. So now I want to go back to. Let's start with you, Jay. Did you, as a young guy, were you like in school? You're involved in the arts, or was this something that happened later on?
Interestingly enough, when I was a kid, we had to academically take some type of either music or, since my hands were pretty clumsy, I couldn't even go near instruments or anything like that. But,
Okay.
so I had to take some type of singing class, but I was extremely shy.
Really? I could see that though.
Very shy. I was a very shy
I
kid.
could see that.
And the
How old were you
ironically-
when you took that singing class?
I was probably maybe 10,
Okay. All right. So like maybe fourth or fifth grade.
fourth, fifth grade, I would
Yeah.
say, something of that sort. And I remember I would, they would consistently pick me for different things, but I would always somehow back out. I remember in junior high school, this is an experience of me going into class, and the teacher, I remember his name was Mr. Sorensen,
Okay.
specifically saying, I want you to do the lead, and I was shy, but I was also a little bit of a smartass too,
Yeah.
but not a
But you still are. You're
yeah,
still a little bit of a
little
smart
bit
ass.
of a wise ass and stuff. And I'm like,
Not
yeah,
so
I
much
could
with
do
me,
it, I
but
could
with the
do it.
guys. I see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, it's basically what it came down to is like I got so frightened. I got such a stage fright that the day of the show I could not go
Really?
on. Yeah. So being young,
You still remember that,
I
right?
still remember.
Yeah,
I still
like-
remember that I just could not go on. And the teacher said, "You know what? Don't worry about it. I get it. It was your first time. You're afraid and stuff." So
And how did you get through that for the next time? What made you go back to class?
ironically, I loved music all along. I would do like silly little things, hang out and go do like silly karaoke with friends and buddies and stuff like that. So a buddy of mine that had a band, and I would partake in stuff. But it was pretty much a garage band. It stayed in the garage pretty much.
But I would put you in this, like you're a singer, Jay.
Great
You're
singer.
great,
I
right?
am.
Great singer.
Like what happened between that little boy, that 10-year-old, and when you start, like I've known you about 20 years, right? And I've always known you as a
Pretty
singer.
much, yeah.
I knew you as a singer before you were an actor. Then I saw your act, and I was like, this guy's got acting chops. But so what happened? What would you say to people that are listening? Maybe their kids are super shy or they're really shy. What would you say to them? Like, what did you keep doing?
I just kept remembering the old Nike commercial, "Just Do It,"
Yeah, it's
Just
that
do it.
simple.
and the journey that I had was I actually went towards Wall Street. So I started working
Really?
at Wall Street. I was working in finance, for a while.
See, I didn't know that about you,
Oh,
and I've
yeah.
known you all these
Oh,
years, and
yeah.
I didn't know that about
And unlike David, who looks really sharp tonight, by the way,
you. Right, he really
I
does.
hated wearing suits.
You hated wearing a suit. Yeah.
By the
I
way,
should have gone to
one of my
finance.
buddies used to call me Captain Sweatpants for a reason, because I would always consistently wear sweatpants all the time, you know, and still do. I love my sweatpants.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and I
me
love my
too.
sweatshirts, and my
But so you didn't like wearing a suit. You were in finance, which I didn't know. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
No.
They did.
Let's just say that I was not happy
Yeah.
at all. That part of my brain didn't work as well as the creative part. of the
Yeah.
brain.
And if
You
you're
know.
a creative person and
Oh,
you
you
try to
just-
suppress that,
And I
it's
just
gonna
couldn't.
keep coming up and coming up. Dominic has joined us. Hi, Dominic, sweetheart. He works with me at Mess Hall, Harlem, and he's also an amazing singer and dancer, I might add. So you see, there's people that are like you meet in New York all over the place that are doing stuff. So when did you decide I got to get out of the finance world?
Oh, I would say started dating this one girl many years ago, and I remember that she was an actress, and it was almost like went to see a performance, and I was so like taken by that, and I said, you know what,
Wow.
I am miserable where I am. I literally left everything behind and started just
Isn't that
working in
something?
a restaurant and just doing small things, and started going more into, let me go back to taking voice, let me go back to just to, it got to the point where, ironically, still being shy but still wanting to push through that, I was heard by a few people, and they just kept casting me in different shows,
Wow.
which I didn't even audition for, which is ironic.
Yeah, they gave you a chance.
They just gave me a chance, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to follow through this time.
And
I'm
there's a
not gonna
lot to
back
be
out.
said for that. I want to talk about that. First, I want to say hello to our friend that we love, Michael Isaacs.
Michael Isaacs.
Oh my God, how much do I love Michael Isaacs? Hi, Michael. Are you at Brandy's tonight, or you got the night off? Michael is usually at Brandy's on Tuesdays and Sundays. So lots of times after the show, I say, go and see Michael at Brandy's. We love him.
Been Brandy's a long time.
Oh my God, I love Brandy's. I'm going to be there this Friday, by the way. This Friday night, the night after Thanksgiving, I'm going to be at Brandy's, so stop by.
Okay, I'm going to pop in and visit you.
Oh
then.
my God, I love it. I love it there. It's East 84th between 2nd and 3rd. It starts at 9:30 and goes all the way to 3 or 4 in the morning. So you just knew, I have to do this. I have to get out of where I am. See, I could never work in corporate America. I mean, I can't say I did for a while, and I hated it.
Yeah, so did I.
I mean, oh my
Just-
God, it was like, I wanted to just die. Like I was dying. But I
No offense
always,
to all you corporate American people out there.
right? Nothing wrong with corporate
No,
America.
not at all. Not
I
at
mean,
all.
go
It's just-
for it and do your thing. I mean, God knows people are making money, and you should. I just couldn't do it. And I started working professionally in the arts in like 84, and I just never looked back. Like I would do side gigs. Like, of course, I always worked in restaurants, always bartended. For people like us, I think, in a lot of ways, in teaching, that's the way to go, right? David, did you? There's Keith Torgan. Hi, Keith Torgan. He is an amazing. He works with kids and writes beautiful music. And I did a show for years that Keith Torgan wrote the music for in schools. So, David, as a young guy, did you know that you always wanted to be in music? How old were you?
I knew I always played the piano. My mom started me.
Does she play the
lessons.
piano as
No,
well? No,
but she said that I used to pick out songs on the piano by ear when I was like 3 and
really.
4.
But you had a piano in the house.
I didn't have a piano in the house, but she always wanted me to take lessons. She finally found someone to teach me when I was about 6.
Wow.
So I was a piano player, but it was kind of a secret thing that I did myself. But I started playing a little more, but it was in junior high, and probably 8th grade. I sang at a talent show in my 8th grade, and I was just beginning to sing. I wasn't really a singer. I was more of a piano player at the time, and I just started
Do you
singing.
remember the song?
I sang my favorite song to this day is "You've Got a Friend" by Carole King.
Oh,
Oh.
look at that.
And I sang
That's a
that
great
song, and I got a standing ovation. And I totally remember I walked off that little rinkety. It was in the gym or something. It wasn't even a stage. I just walked off the side, and in my head I was like, This is what I'm.
This is
I,
it.
I knew exactly. At
This
that
is
moment
it. It's
that
true.
That was what I was doing, and I really have. I've had small jobs that I've done in between, but I've always been first and foremost a musician. I've never had to do. fortunately, I've never really had to done a job that's
Isn't that
out of
amazing?
my realm that much, because I was always
That's a
doing
really
weddings or
big
parties
deal.
or
That's a
something.
really big deal. I want to stop for a minute. Judy Mesa has joined us. Hi, honey.
Judy.
You know Judy? I don't think you've ever met David.
I
This
know
is
Judy.
hi, Judy. This is David. David,
Hi,
this
Judy.
is Judy. And of course, everybody knows Jay.
I know Judy
eighth-
very well.
Darius Frana said 8th grade put me on the map too. Isn't that,
Yay!
listen, that's that's why I like to ask people these questions, because we have all worked with kids, and you think it doesn't matter to them, but it does. Like, that's when we all started. I mean, I started doing children's theater when I was 10. I started singing when I was
Oh,
9
that's
in a
amazing.
folk group in Mass. Like, we had a rock
Right.
folk group,
Yeah.
and that was like such a big deal. But then when I really started doing summer theater, it changed my entire life. I mean,
Right.
so it does matter, And when did you decide to choose jazz as your avenue, or did it choose you? Or?
I just think it was because I started off, of course, learning classical. That's where I studied, and I went to Interlochen, which is a summer camp for musicians and artists. And I was always on the classical route, but I think when I started, people started paying me like $10 and $15 to play at their weddings when I was in high school.
Wow.
And I sang at so many weddings from the time I was, in high school through college. And I knew that that's how I was going to make my money. I knew that's all I just wanted, classical music. It's I love classical musicians, and I don't envy the hard work they put in just to do a recital or to do a performance. But jazz, and you can get up and sing, and it's
great.
It's something that comes out of your soul.
And
just-
it's actually was, now you talked about Jazz in the City, which you did, right?
Right.
At the Duplex. And jazz, they say, is the true American art form. Like, it was born here.
Yep.
Where most music is born in Europe, right? In Asia, a lot of it in Europe, Eastern Europe, whatever. But really, jazz started here. So there's no debating that.
And my jazz, I have to be honest to all the jazz aficionados out there, I'm a pop jazz musician more so than a,
Than like a jazz fusion guy.
Jazz fusion guy.
Yeah.
So I'm really, my music is, I'm all about a lyric. So I'm more of a lyric based entertainer than a music based entertainer.
Yeah, but I can see that. I love when you get up and sing.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
I have
when I
your,
play,
you
I'm
do
like-
know
Well,
I
I
have your
love it.
CDs, right?
You do?
Yes, I have 2 of your CDs. So
Very sweet.
yeah,
You
they're
see,
awesome.
he's like a
See,
secret
I told you,
fan.
nice guy. I told
He
you.
really is.
I have to come see you and play.
Oh, Jay's.
I know now that she's raving about.
Oh,
the
no,
acting.
Jay's great.
January I'll be in a show called Motor City. It's Motor City Review. It's going to be at the theater in New Jersey, the Brook Theater in New Jersey. in
Brook
Bound
Theater?
Brook.
Okay.
Wow.
You
make a
have to
road
tell
trip.
us about it. Yeah, we'll take a road trip. And you have to tell us about it, because we can post it on the What's the Story with Maria page.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
anything that you guys want to, if you're doing stuff, which I want to talk about your jazz brunch thing, please feel free to post it on my page, and then I will share it to the What's the Story with Maria page. I think you can share it directly there. I'm not sure the way it's set up. I have to go back and look at it. But now, David,
Yes.
talk to us about what you're doing.
I have
the
a
jazz
new
brunch.
little fun brunch. It's really I'm calling it the R and BBQ brunch
That's
I
great.
like it.
That's a great name.
because it's at a barbecue restaurant, a great barbecue restaurant on 37th and 9th in the city called Jack's. And
I
I'm
know
doing
exactly what that
I'm
is.
doing a brunch there, and I invite various singers to come join me. We do a little set, and it's kind of I didn't want to do a gospel brunch, but the people that I've invited to sing, it has turned into
It's
a little
lean
bit-
that way.
It's lean that way. We're getting
And how-
happy, and
And how long do you
That's
play
wonderful.
for? What's the, how long
we
is
do
the gig?
2 sets from between 12 and 3 o'clock,
Oh, wow.
and we sing.
That's
for
a good
about half
amount of
an hour.
time.
But I've had a lot of Darius has really given me a great number of singers.
Well, Darius
Brandy,
knows a lot of people.
Burgundy
Oh, yeah,
came and
yes.
sang.
Yeah,
last
Burgundy's
week. She was
great.
amazing.
She's awesome.
And Tara.
And Tara came.
Tara, she's wonderful.
Tara was
Wow.
my opening singer for the whole series. that I'm
Oh,
doing.
wonderful.
Wow.
That
I
was
just
great.
saw Burgundy live the other night.
Oh,
I
at
went to her.
Sugar.
Oh, she was.
Oh, I wanted to
wonderful.
go
She
so
was
bad.
amazing.
Yeah.
She was
Sugar,
amazing.
you mean Sugar Bar on 7
Sugar Bar's
Seconds?
in
Yeah.
a second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she
I
did.
was
love
there.
that
Phenomenal.
place.
She did.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sugar Bar sometime
Let's do
together. You
that.
want to?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would love
I
that.
used to go when I lived on the Upper West Side for a while, but I haven't been in forever. I love Ashford and Simpson though.
Bruno, oh my God, right? Bruno Coppola has joined us. Chris DePiero has joined us. Hi,
Hey,
Chris.
Hey.
We love Chris. Chris is a great videographer, by the way, filmmaker.
Oh, wow.
If you ever need someone to video anything.
He's a phenomenal
Seriously.
actor too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And screenwriter.
Yeah.
I've written now. He's working on a series, like a web series. So, but if you ever need someone to video whatever you're doing, he's your gun for hire, and you can
Great.
go straight to him, or you can call me and I'll get a hold of him. Who is Esther Balasala? Oh, that's Julie's friend. Hi, Julie. How sweet. Julie shared our show. Thank you, Julie. Leo says I'm hungry. Thank you, Leo. Okay, you know what this means. And right, I was just going to go into it. So, okay, on our show, What's the Story with Maria? Of course, I love to interview my friends I have the most creative, wonderful friends. But, you know, what's my creative challenge every week? I love to cook, so I give myself a creative challenge of cooking something.
Okay.
So the part of our show is called Go Ahead, Keep Eating. All right, David, can you say that for me?
Go ahead. Keep eating.
I love it. That was cute.
Go ahead, keep eating.
See, look at that. So now it is Thanksgiving week, and as I said to Jay, it's the weirdest thing this year. I just kind of like, I'm glazed over on Thanksgiving. I don't know why. And usually it's my favorite holiday, but I'm just like kind of glazed over. So much going on. However, so I was going to make like a turkey plate, you know, like a turkey breast and stuff. And then David said, wait a minute. What'd you say to me? Tell them what you said.
I said, I can't come to your house and not have Italian food.
Right?
She's always talking about it. She just got
She's
back
an
from
amazing
Italy.
Italian.
Yes,
She's
that's
always
true.
talking about Italian food. She
Yeah.
shows it on her page all the time. I'm like, I want Italian food
Okay.
from Maria.
So David, because I love you and I accepted the challenge. So what did I
Really?
make? When going with Thanksgiving, I did use turkey, but I made turkey meatballs.
Wow.
Look
good.
at that. Turkey meatballs over rollatini, which is like, they're
Wow.
kind of like fusilli. They're a little bit, they're a little softer than fusilli, or a little longer and like a corkscrew. These are a little prettier. So turkey meatballs, I
Yum.
cannot wait. I made a ton of them.
Yum.
Oh, that sounds
Now,
amazing.
Jay also brought a plate. Jay, let's show everyone your plate. Grab your plate that you made.
What did you
Part
make?
of our turkey.
I didn't know I was kind of supposed to make a dish.
Oh, you didn't? No,
Oh,
nobody
no,
made.
no,
He
I
just
just-
brought a
I
dish.
just insisted
That's how
because
Jay is.
Maria works so hard cooking all the time, so I figured I'd make
Look at
something
this.
also as well.
I'm gonna hold it up. You tell everybody what it is.
Wow.
Whoa!
That's
Oh, that smells,
Smells so
great.
good.
Oh my
Smell it,
goodness.
David. Smell it.
I hope you
Oh!
like it. I hope you like
What
it.
is
Tell
it?
us what it
It
is.
is. It's an organic sprouted California wild rice, and it has just sweet onions, tricolored organic peppers. In line with the holiday, I want to make sure that there was turkey. So I got this amazing free range turkey ham. That's just and it's mixed
Turkey
in.
That's
ham.
what
there.
smells so amazing.
Smells
Jay is an
really good.
amazing cook, and he's
Wow.
also a very healthy cook. So this is a super healthy dish. So this is like going to be like our Thanksgiving-y kind of healthy dish. Thank you, Jay. It smells. And
Oh,
what kind of rice did you use there?
That's
That's
a
organic.
California organic sprouted brown rice.
Unbelievable.
Smells amazing.
Unbelievable. Now,
Wow.
because I knew Jay, and I do want to talk about your health stuff, Jay. Jay is super healthy. He has helped me over the years to get my act together. So I made a delicious salad,
Wow.
a healthy
that's so
salad.
great.
Yes, kale, shredded Brussels sprouts, shredded carrots.
Wow.
Yes, pumpkin seeds
Wow.
and cranberries.
Oh, that
are
sounds
in
so
there.
good.
Oh
That
my
sounds
God!
so good.
And
Yum.
I am gonna put pear vinegar with a nice olive oil.
Oh, that
on
sounds
that.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I can get a
Why are we
cream.
still talking to you people?
I know, exactly. Well, we're going to eat after this. We eat afterwards as a reward for doing our show. Now, you have to have dessert on my show because I love dessert. And also, it is Thanksgiving. So I went with an apple crumb
Oh,
pie.
Wow.
you
Look
can't
at
go
that.
wrong with apple.
No, you can't.
Never can go wrong with apple.
And what do I have
Yeah.
in the freezer? I have cinnamon ice cream.
Oh, that's
So
perfect with
that
that.
is
Then.
going to go over that, but I couldn't put it on there because there's
Yum.
enough. That is our meal after
That is great.
after the show. So thank you, Leo Rodriguez, for asking for our. Okay, so I want to scroll back because a couple of people came on while we were talking. Michael Anthony Torres has joined us. Maria
Hey.
Filiamani, we always ate pasta as a prima plate. You're right. And right. So I used to make, when I cooked Thanksgiving dinner years ago, I used to always make lasagna and the
Oh, your
meatballs.
lasagna
Remember,
is so good. I've
Jay,
had it.
you've had
Yeah,
my
it's-
Thanksgiving dinner many
wow.
times.
Yeah.
And I did that for so many years and cooked these crazy. And you know what? I just, I don't know. I'll start doing it again. But so it does all go with that. Sometimes things happen and you get busy and stuff. Michael, recipes. No, yeah, I like to give stuff out, but I do not give out secret recipes, Michael, because I have to kill you. I am Italian, and those are secret recipes. Julie
I'm in the house. I'll try to see what I can find.
I know. Julie, Julie's Italian. She's Calabrese, I think. And a lot of Italians in Australia. Did you know that?
Yes.
Good. I've heard that
big
there's
Italian community in Australia.
Yes. Richard Saltz has joined us. Leo, what did you say about Smalls? Stephen Daniello. Stephen, he just joined. I just did the food, Stephen. Look, I made, Stephen is a great chef.
So
I made
good.
turkey meatballs over Rotelli. And then Jay made a beautiful plate. Talk about the plate again, Jay, because Stephen is a famous chef.
It's just some sprouted wild California rice.
Turkey ham?
With some sauteed turkey ham. It's got a little bit of little fresh chopped onions, tricolored organic peppers, and some seasoning spices.
Unbelievable. So we have so many great, delicious foods here. Now, yeah, I have always, even as a kid, loved to cook because my mother was an amazing cook. But what made her an amazing cook was that we were very poor and she could make something great out of nothing. But, so I never even realized that we were without because she was so creative. And then as years went on, she always just made things up in her head, but she also then would buy like these, like Bon Appetit and things like that at the store. And then she would get more ideas and keep going. So my love of cooking comes from my mom.
That's amazing.
And I love it. But you got really healthy. Now you're also a fitness guy. Talk about that, Jay. That's important. And he's also a gun for hire. Jay does private, right?
I do.
Okay, tell us about that.
I do. Well, ironically, I growing up, I grew up in the Lower East Side, and pretty much ate a lot of really bad food growing up, stuff as we all do as kids and stuff like that. But it got to a point where I kept eating that food. And, long story short, got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right.
And started changing my health around and started just learning and working out and then learning from other people. And then that created even more of a desire to just want to just learn much more.
And you lost weight and you got fit, and now you train other people.
I lost weight, I got fit, I got healthy, my skin conditions disappeared, my sinus problems disappeared.
Amazing.
Well,
you got me started on probiotics years ago.
Yeah.
And now I don't go a day without probiotics.
Probiotics are great. As we age, as we get older, we lose a lot of probiotics. One time that we go to a doctor and we get some antibiotics, that's it. Our probiotics are dead. We have to basically incorporate either fermented foods.
What's a fermented food?
Fermented food is like a
Beer?
Beer?
no, not quite beer.
Not
but
beer.
Even though
Oh
that's
my
fermented,
God, David. But you can have that. Have that.
Well, there's
beer
types of originally sauerkraut was made by fermenting it. It wasn't not today they cheat and they put vinegar in it and stuff like that. So there are places that have fermented sauerkraut and fermented kimchi, which is also
I love kimchi.
Sauerkraut.
You love
Really
kimchi?
good. Yeah, I like kimchi.
And
So
that
good.
it's the equivalent of having probiotics and flora in it. It has
Really?
good bacteria in it, and that good bacteria helps our immune system to kick in, because our immune system is
didn't know
basically
that.
good, like 86% on digestive tract.
Really?
If you think about it, if you get sick, what do? They give you some type of medication to take orally, right? So a lot of times people don't realize that their immune system is predominantly their digestive tract.
Wow.
So if we eat, we can literally eat our way back to health.
It's true, and I believe it. And you've helped me with a lot of things, and you've also helped me with just like when I had knee problems, you always tell me what the right thing to do with, and so Jay is your guy. If you really want to get on track physically, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to lose weight or anything like that. You just want to align your body.
Sure. Corrective exercise, posture,
Yep.
just strengthening certain things.
How do we get a
lower back
hold of you,
issues.
Jay, if we want to get a hold of you? We're on Facebook, right?
You can either Facebook me, or you can just simply email me.
Okay.
At jrivera.ny@me.com.
At
If you need to get a
me.com.
hold of me, and gladly help if you need any information.
All right. So Jennifer Day has joined us. Hello, Jennifer Day.
Day,
How are you?
wow.
She's our friend. Now, my cousin Rena said, and Zia Maria, who's my mom, her turkey always had 8 legs. Now, This is when we were kids, we literally thought that my mother was the Thanksgiving queen. She loved Thanksgiving. She always cooked. We usually about 22 people she
Wow.
cooked for. And so our turkey had 8 legs. And as kids, we thought that turkeys had 8 legs. But what it was all the guys, the adult guys, liked the leg. So my mother would buy extra legs and cook them. But as kids, you don't know that. You don't know, like, she went to the butcher and bought extra. So you were like, so when I saw a turkey with 2 legs, we were like, what's up with that? What happened to your turkey? That's right, Rita. Thank you for reminding me. I
love
wish
that
I had
story.
brought down that
That
picture.
is a great story.
Jay, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
See that picture right there of my mom dressed as a pilgrim? Straight ahead. You'll right next to the television.
Right next to the
There it is. Yes, please. This is okay. So I have to bring this up.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Rena, for reminding us. So this is my mom. My mom, ironically, as we're speaking, passed away on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was 9 years ago, so 2009, and it would be Monday the 26th. But it was her favorite holiday. She used to dress. She's from Italy, mind you, but she dressed like a pilgrim, and she would say, "Today I am a pilgrim." And my father would say there were no Italian pilgrims. She'd say, "I am a pilgrim." So because she was a citizen and she took that very seriously. So that was my mom. And she made costumes for my cousin Jessica and my niece Leah. And anyway, so we used to have the best Thanksgivings. And we'd make, again, like Maria Filiomeni was saying, the Italians made pasta. We made lasagna. We made meatballs. And then we had turkey with all the other stuff. And then you had salad. Italians have salad last. So I do love Thanksgiving. And this year we're going to Judy's mom, and the Cubans, they make this unbelievable pork roast.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like off the hook. I don't think they really make turkey. I think they make the pork roast. It's like so good.
Pernil.
I don't know if it is
They don't
called
call it
that.
or they might call it
It's
something
like
else.
in this like kind of sauce like this. Maybe Judy, are you still there? Maybe you can
That sounds pretty
type
good.
in. It's
That
really
sounds-
good.
that
Peggy
sounds good.
Bauman has joined us.
Peggy Bauman.
Hi, Peggy. You'll have to go back after the
Peggy.
show's over. Vincenzo D'Amato, that's our friend from Massachusetts. He is Abruzzese, and we were just talking about the Italians and cook and Thanksgiving and all the pasta we make before the turkey, and then we have dessert. It's crazy. When I used to cook these Thanksgiving dinners for my friends in New York, because we'd have like about 20 people.
Yeah.
I mean, people would be like, what is this stuff? Where's the turkey? I'm like, oh, that's coming. This is Italian Thanksgiving. It's very
Only
different.
an Italian can do it. Like I couldn't, make my friends. I'm cooking Thanksgiving too. I couldn't put lasagna out first and go.
No, it
"This is
wouldn't
what-"
work.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you have to be Italian.
You have to
do
be
that.
Italian. You have to kind of strong arm everybody. Like,
Yeah.
well, what are you going to do? You're going to do something
And
about
serving
it?
the salad.
You got a
last,
problem
too.
with my lasagna? Yeah, as long as there's a turkey in there, you know. So we're going to eat afterwards. Now, David, what was something as a kid that you loved that your family made that you were like, oh,
my
even
mom,
to this day,
my
I miss.
mom was similar to yours. But
Yeah.
we were poor, but I never knew that we were poor.
Right.
My mother did an amazing job of dressing me great and giving
Always
me.
had clean clothes and
always.
good food. Yep, that's the
Um,
key.
I mean, there was layaway back then, and I would get new outfits all the time because my mother put everything on layaway, and then she
Yeah.
could pay it off, and she would go, "Oh, I got this." I mean, I was always
My
coming
mom
home
did
with
that as well.
some kind of new outfit, and
remember
I knew we didn't have any money, but my mother just paid it
Yeah,
off. for
little at a
nothing.
time, little at a time.
And so, but my mom was a great. She cooked. She was from a big family. She was the youngest. She was the middle child of 12 kids.
Wow.
So she had, and her mother died young, so she was always making big meals. So even for me and just the two of us, she was always cooking enough
Big,
for
in
an army.
batches. You cook in batches.
So,
and then you freeze it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she did.
That's
all the
what I
time.
do too.
But my mom made really amazing. My favorite meal for my mom was barbecue chicken.
Delicious.
She made a barbecue. The dinner was barbecue chicken. She would just bake it and put a sauce on it. It wasn't
Yeah.
special, but to me it was everything.
Of course.
And she'd make a cheese rice that she
Wow.
would put in a Jello mold and put it on a plate, and then put peas around it.
Oh.
And then she would make Jello, just real Jello,
Real
just in
Jell-O.
a regular thing, a square thing, cut it out. And that was my favorite meal. And when I was 16 years old, she told me I could invite anybody I wanted to my birthday. You can have as many people as you want. You can invite anyone, and we'll cook it. I invited about 200 people. I invited
Wow.
the people at the store, the grocery people in the line, the doctor, everybody that I knew. And she and a bunch of her lady friends cooked that dinner for me at the church in the basement.
Unbelievable.
And my favorite meal, and they all the people came, and it was like one of the best birthdays I've ever had.
Wow.
And I sang for everybody, and it was just really a really
Barbecue
fun time.
chicken, cheese
Wow,
rice with the
that
peas
sounds good.
around it. I love it. And Jello. What
And
color
Jell-O.
Jello?
Like a orange or red.
I
and
love it.
You know, raspberry, and it had mandarin oranges in it.
Oh my
Has to have
God!
mandarin
Yeah.
oranges in
But
it.
you see
Jell-O.
the specifics of this that you remember. My mother used to make a sausage and broccoli pie. It was like a bread crust around it, and it was just like to this day, like and then calamari with like peas and onions, and there's certain things that your parents make, because there's a
Yeah,
lot of guys
Sure, yeah.
that are great cooks too, like great dads that are cooks too. You know, it's just wonderful. Cook at home, cook for your kids, teach them to cook. That's how I
Yeah.
learned to cook, from watching my mom. And Chris DePiero said, great stories. Yeah, you don't forget these things. And Rhonda, you said, this is making me miss my mom and dad.
Mm.
I know. This is a time of
I know,
year.
it's sad.
There's something about Thanksgiving that just makes your heart hurt. I can't put my finger on it. I was talking to Jay before the show. I'm like,
Yeah.
tonight I'm like, my heart hurts, you know? So, but you know, we have to remember that we can embrace each other as
Yeah.
friends, and we can bring even though our families may not be, and as New Yorkers, we know this very well, because we can't always go home, you know, and they can't always come here. So we have to create new families and communities, and we embrace each other, and we kind of pass that energy. And I think music allows us
Yeah.
that.
I agree.
Right?
Music is
Yeah.
very, very, very much feeding the soul
Absolutely.
and creates its own family.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
communities, like we go to clubs and sing together.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
can't sing by yourself. You can at home, but it gets kind of lonely. You want to be out with people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
even if you don't know anybody in the room, people start singing, and all of a sudden you're part of it. And then somebody says, hey, my name's David. My name's Jay.
Right.
You know, and then the next thing you know, we're singing duets.
I
And
know, it's great.
It's
such
beautiful.
Yeah, it's actually more fun to sing with
Yes.
another person than it is to sing on my own.
yeah, it's
I
true.
I find more pleasure in it. To me, it's just, you know.
Well, you are my favorite duet
I
partner.
love
Don't
singing
get
with
jealous,
you.
David, but he is my
I love
favorite
singing
duet
with
partner.
Maria. She's
over
so
the
much,
years.
Both of
she's
you
great.
have
She's so much
powerful,
fun.
amazing.
I sang with David once
voices.
though, and that
We
was
did-
awesome.
we
He's
did-
got
we
such a
did
great
duet.
voice.
We did do that one.
Yeah, oh,
song.
you do have a beautiful.
Yeah,
I
he's
love.
got-
And
this
it's
guy's
such an
got some
honor
serious
when you
pipes,
say,
know?
"Come up here and sing this with me." I'm like, really?
I love singing duets with you.
Oh, it's great. Jay and I, though, we have this. We do a lot of duets together,
do.
don't we?
We do, yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of rock, kind of more like rock. There's a
Yeah.
couple of soul, like
Rock, soul.
we do "Ever Since I Met You."
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
do that
right.
one, yeah.
That's right.
Tammy Terrell and
I love that song. I don't remember that song, but it's a great song.
who's the guy?
She's
Holloway,
like,
right?
"Can't forget you."
Yeah,
Um,
I'll think of it in a minute. But Donny
the
Hathaway.
Spinners. Oh, Donnie. Is that Donnie Hathaway?
Dionne
Yeah.
Warwick? Dionne Warwick?
That was
She
she
sang
redid it
another
too.
version, right?
She
Oh,
did another
she had a
version too.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
many. I love like I think my favorite, like that 70s kind of soul
Love
pop.
70s
Man, it's the
music.
best.
Oh,
It's the best
Love it.
music ever.
It really
Sorry.
is,
yeah.
and those bass lines,
It
right?
is. Oh man.
Oh,
And you know
my
everybody's playing real. Those,
Instru-
it's all real instruments.
Yeah,
back
it's
then.
not
Oh, yeah.
synthesized.
I love it.
Everything you hear in the album, someone's playing it.
Real
It is-
music.
I
It's
know.
not. I mean,
Real
nothing
voices,
against
no
programming or
synthesizing.
anything.
No,
like
and
that,
it's cool,
but
and
it's
that's where.
just really real people, and that's why it has such a. That's why every song is so different.
Now
because
you
it's-
talked about your album. This is
Yeah.
all real. This particular
Yeah.
one, right? So let's
I mean, this
go.
one is. I mean, I played piano on both. I played keyboards on both.
Okay,
my
let me
albums.
show these because we've got about 6 minutes left to our show. If
And
you
they're
can
available
imagine.
on Spotify and Pandora and
David
iTunes
Raleigh.
and everywhere
Okay,
else. So
and if you want to
check
friend
'em
these
out.
guys, it's David J. Raleigh on Facebook
Yes.
and Jay
David J.
Rivera. I tagged both of them. So this Thanksgiving, all right. So we communicate with our music. Yes, we do, Michael. And Michael, I gotta say, everybody's gonna be jealous now, but Michael is my favorite piano player in the whole city.
He's phenomenal.
Wow.
Yep,
Nice.
just my favorite.
He's a
Because
favorite and a phenomenal singer. As
yes, well,
He's
he's a singer
great
that
singer.
plays for himself.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Michael and I have known each other for more beyond just New York.
Wow.
Because Michael was like a little young guy, and I used to go to this club that he played in called the 1270 in Boston. And we didn't know that we were in New York working together, 2 years working together every Tuesday night. And somebody asked for like The Greatest Lover. And I said, oh, I know that song. And I went up to sing it. And all of a sudden, in the middle of it, he looked at me and he said, oh my God, you're that girl. I was like, you're that guy. And it dawned on me, of course, I hit the sauce a lot in the 80s. That's all I'm going to say. And then I stopped drinking because it wasn't, it just wasn't my thing. I didn't agree with me. But Michael was like, oh my God, you were that girl. And so we remembered that we had known each other. How much time, Jimmy?
A minute.
A minute. Okay, we want to thank
Okay.
Jimmy Bell of Arm Radio.
Thanks,
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy. He's our producer and engineer, and I love him very much. Happy Thanksgiving, Jimmy.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to Joe Rocks from Armed Radio. He's our guy that makes sure that the show continues to go on. Go to Spotify. You'll hear our podcast. This is episode 71. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And
Happy
listen,
holiday.
put gratitude in your attitude. Just be grateful for what you have. Stand
Absolutely.
where you are right now
Yeah.
and say, look at what I have, and I am grateful. And me
Yes.
personally, I'm grateful for these guys and so grateful
Thank
for
you.
you.
Right back at you,
God
Maria.
bless you.
Thank
We love you. Come back every week at 9 p.m. Eastern. God bless you, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you.